Alright, y'all. This is my first story time, so bear with me. Last year, February 2024, I signed a contract with this hospital. I'm a travel healthcare worker, so I signed this 3-month contract in Richmond, Virginia. So I needed a place to stay, so I started looking up houses on Airbnb and furnish finders. And mind you, these houses are like expensive to stay in, especially if you want a house all to yourself. But it's one house I seen, and it was like $1,000 a month. It was still a little it was a little bit more than what I wanted to pay for, especially for just a room. But it was probably the most reasonable house I could find. So I reached out to the landlord, and we'll call her Alicia Steebles. Alright, it's close to her name. She a realtor down here in Richmond, Virginia. So I reached out to her and I say, hey, I'm interested in renting out a room in your house. Is it still available? She was like, yeah. And she said the price was gonna be $1,000. So I was like, okay, cool. So I said, I let her know I'm a travel healthcare worker, and my contract is gonna be for 3 months. So she wanted me to cash up her $3,000 in advance. I ain't even before I even come down there, and I'm like, nah, I don't want to do that. First, I need to see how the house look, and then you also need to send over some type of lease agreement. What she did was she sent the lease over to my email, and I read over the lease, and I needed a change starting with she wanted me to sign a 3-month lease with her, and I explained to her, no, I want to do month-to-month tenancy, just in case contracts get canceled, or I don't like the hospital I'm at, things happen. So she tells me, how about you come down here and I give you a tour of the house, and we'll also go over the lease and we'll make the necessary changes. But before you come down here, you need to send, a $300 security deposit, a refundable security deposit to hold your spot. And you send it via Cash App. So I'm like, okay, cool. Ain't number $300, fine. I'll go ahead and send you that. So I moved from Louisiana, that's my hometown, all the way to Richmond, Virginia, 16-hour drive. I pull up to the house, and she answered the door. Her little dog come out. It's a little chihuahua, which is cool. She told me about that dog prior to me coming down there, so I already knew about it. We're gonna get into the dog later. So I come in the house, and she give me a tour of the house. Like, the house is clean. Like, the kitchen was clean, my bedroom was clean, and the bathroom my private bathroom was also clean, which is like really important to me. Like, I need a clean bathroom. I give her that. Her house was clean. It was probably the cleanest furnished finder house I see. So that's what sold me, the bathroom. So it was time for us to sign a lease. So she prints out the lease agreement, and I look over it, I read over it, and I made sure I put that it wasn't going to be a 3-month lease. It was going to be month to month. And also, it was a section that had a termination policy and it was a 14 days notice policy. So it stated if I don't give 14 days notice, then I would have to pay for another month. I would be bound to pay another, I'd be done for another 30 days. So I made her change this 14 days notice policy to non-applicable, which means the policy don't apply to me. And I explained to her, like sometimes, like I'll have to, if something happens, I'll have to move when I have to move. So she agrees to this. We both agree to this. She changes it on the lease. And with that being said, I take out the envelope and I give her $1,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. She happy. She give me a receipt. Everything good. I move all my stuff in, go upstairs, and I take my shower and I settle in. Now, the first 3 months was cool. Everything was going good. She was acting like she had some sense. All right? So The only thing that was kind of like, tripping me up was each month, like I was there, or like the second and third month, she would ask me, 2 weeks before the rent is due, hey, do you plan on staying another 30 days? And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna stay another 30 days. You gonna get your money. So, so what I would do was, I would just go ahead send the $1,000 early, because my whole thing is and then she texted me this while I'm at work. So I'm thinking, okay, that lets me know maybe she need this $1,000 early, which ain't no problem. I got it. I'll go and pay it early. No big deal. Now, month 4 rolls around, and she's starting to get a little bit too comfortable. This time I changed my hours from 5/8 during the week to 3/12s on the weekends. I started working from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. And during this time, I started, doing like traveling more and doing more vlogging. So during that week, I ain't even at the house. I'm pretty much always gone. The only time I was there was from, during the weekend hours when I would have to go to work. So she would start like, bringing she started bringing dudes over at the house, and she would bring dudes over, like when I was asleep, which, ain't no problem to me. At the end of the day, this your house, you do what you do. But at the same time, that kind of, puts me in a situation I don't want to be in. What if what if they get into an argument or an altercation or something and they get to fighting? Like that's I don't want nothing to do with it. You feel me? And at the end of the day, this ain't my city. I don't know nothing about y'all. I really ain't know nothing about Alicia. Y'all strangers to me. So that kind of, I was getting uncomfortable with it. During month 4, I also noticed that she started, staying at the house more often when I would pop back up in the house. So, every time I would come in, I would notice, she ain't, she's sitting on the couch, just chilling, watching TV. I'm talking about big chilling. And I'm thinking, ain't you got houses to sell or meetings to go to or houses to show off, you're a whole realtor, don't y'all, you ain't got nothing to do? You just sitting at the house chilling all day? Now, mind you, during the first 3 months, I would work from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. So she would actually, she would be getting up at 8 a.m., during the weekdays. She would be going out, doing what she do. I guess, selling, I don't know, selling, whatever relatives do, selling houses and stuff. So I would have a house from 8 a.m. to, to the time I go to work. I wouldn't even see her, which was perfect. So, after, noticing this, I'm like, she ain't, what's going on here? Are you just waiting for me to hand you over the $1,000 now? So I would be like, go do something. But hey, that's what do what you do. That's your business. All right, y'all, hold on. I'm gonna have to make a part 2. Y'all stay tuned. So now we in the middle of May, and she's starting to get more and more comfortable. She's starting to bring company over. Like, I would come home after 11, 12, 1 p.m. of working my shift on the weekend, and she would have, like, a group of females that's over there just chilling in the living room. Like, they over there drinking, laughing all loud, just having a good old time, a blast. I just got off work, so I'm tired. I need to go upstairs and take my shower and get ready for the next day because I got to be up. And my whole thing is, like, I don't mind, like, you want to have company like that, that don't bother me at all. But if I'm coming home at this certain time, then, just tell your company, okay, my tenant here, she got to go to work, we need to keep the noise down. Or y'all can even take the party back to one of their houses. Just have some type of respect for me. That was starting to really, tick me off. I've been at work all day, helping these people, helping, with a bunch of patients all day long, 12 hours, sometimes 13, 14, 15. I want to come home. I'm tired. I'm ready to take a shower, relax, go to sleep. When I would wake up the following day, I would notice, like, I would come downstairs and they sleeping. They just sleeping on the couch. I don't know about y'all, but it's something about, having to get up to go to work and coming downstairs and you seeing people just chilling on the couch that you don't even know. Like, don't y'all, like, y'all ain't got jobs? Don't y'all have something to do? She started getting a little bit complacent. You feel me? So that happened. And then also, she started asking me to take her dog out. Now, I was already taking the dog out, here and there. When I would be leaving, the dog would, I would like just come up, run into me and run into the door. So I would just take the dog out and then I would wait a little bit and bring the dog in. She started taking advantage of my kindness. So then she started texting me while I was at work. She would be like, hey, I won't be at home. Can you take the dog out when you get off work? So I'm like, okay, fine. I'll take your dog out and bring her back in. Now, fast forward to June, I was never there. The only time I was there was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to take a shower and prepare for work. She pretty much, she had the whole entire house to herself. I was either out, traveling, going to D.C., going to Miami, just gone. Or I was at a friend's house. I was just never there. Like, she pretty much had the whole place to herself. When I would come back in town, her car would always be, parked outside, and she would just be, she would just be chilling at the house. Every time I came in, she would be like, she would say something. Then it got to a point where she was like, oh, I've been out, selling houses. I just got home early. I'm like, okay, that's on you. You ain't got to explain nothing to me. That's do what you do. I started noticing that. So my whole thing is, don't be asking me to pay the rent early. Like, if you are selling your houses and making all this money, and she fulfill the need to tell me, oh, I sold this house and that house, so I'm closing deals, I'm closing major deals. I'm like, okay, cool. So you don't need at this point, you don't need me to pay the rent early. I ain't say that, but that's what I'm thinking. But sure enough, she, like, literally each month she would make sure to ask me, hey, are you still going to extend with me? I remember it was one time, like, it was a Thursday evening. I'm getting ready to head out. I'm getting dressed and I'm leaving my room, finna walk down the stairs. And as soon as I open my door, she opened her door. And she was like, hey, how you doing? How work going? I'm like, we're going good. Mind you, I'm walking down the stairs trying to get up out the door. Like, I really ain't like talking to her. I just wanted to keep that relationship strictly landlord tenant. Like, I didn't really talk to her. The only time I would talk to her is when it was time to pay the rent, pretty much. She was like, hey, how you doing? How work going? I was like, we're going good. She was like, oh, I had a busy day today. And I was like, oh, okay, what happened? I'm thinking, okay, maybe she would, I don't know what she want to talk about, but I'm like, what happened? She was like, oh, just dealing with with tenants and just, trying to sell these houses. I'm doing a bunch of projects. I was like, okay, cool. Just trying to have small talk with me. So I'm thinking, why is she, like, why is she stopping me? Like, why is she trying to, why is she talking to me? Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna make a part 3. All right, y'all. So at this point, I'm down the stairs with my hand on the doorknob, trying to inch up out the door. Hopefully, hoping that she would take the hint that I don't want to talk to her. So eventually, she take the hint, and I get up out the door, and I'm walking to my car, and I'm thinking, that was weird. Like, what's going on? So when I get in my car, I started thinking, oh, tomorrow will make like the second week that in 2 weeks the rent is due. So what I do is I go ahead and send her $1,000. She done chased me up out the door, down the street, trying to get up in my car just to get that band. So so I go ahead and get it to her. Now, fast forward to July. I ain't really had no incidents I don't know if she, came to her senses that what she doing wasn't cool or professional or appropriate, but she she came back. She got her sense back. So July was cool. I really wanted to. Sometimes I picked up some shifts on the week for overtime, but other than that, I really wanted to like I was just done during the weekend. Now, August rolls around, and it's still going pretty good. Ain't no issues, ain't no problems. So I'm like, cool. All right, cool. I can do this. August was cool. The only thing that happened was one day I had got off work. I had got off at 11 p.m. and she was chilling on the couch. Chilling. Hair tied with a bonnet on, and she watching Game of Thrones, and she told me, "Hey, how we're going? I'm just, I'm watching Game of Thrones," and I was like, "Oh, okay, that's what's up. Work was good. All right." So she was like, "Do you watch Game of Thrones?" And I look at her. I'm like, "Nah, but I see you. Have a good night." She turned back over and started back watching TV. So I go back upstairs and, I take my shower, get back in the bed, and, that's the end of that. I would say, like, during mid-August, she informs me that she finna go to Paris for a family trip for a week. So I'm like, okay, cool. I get the whole place to myself for a week. Yeah. Then she tells me, will you be able to help take care of my dog since I won't be here? And I'm like, yeah, of course I'll take care of your dog. So I'm going to tell y'all, look, I ain't had no problem with the dog. I actually enjoyed the dog, the little chihuahua. The dog would always, like, come run up to me, and I would play with it and pet it. So I love dogs, by the way. I got a family dog. But anyways, I'm like, yeah, you can go out of town you can go out of town as long as you want to, and then I take care of your dog, no problem. As long as I get the whole place to myself for a week, bet. So now it's the end of August, and it's time for her to go out of town. And she tells me, okay, I know you be at work on the weekends, so I'm going to have two females come over here, and they going to help dog sit while you at work. I'm thinking, okay, no problem. They gonna come over. Let the dog out, and then they gonna go home. All right, I can deal with that. That's cool. And then she's like, well, they gonna be spending the night, and I'm like, spending the night for what? So, I ain't say it out loud. That's what I'm thinking. So, she tells me, yeah, friend one gonna be here Friday, and friend two gonna be here Saturday, while you at work. And then they'll just spend a night and help dog sit. So I'm thinking, okay, I guess. So now it's time for her to go out of town, and it's like the end of August, beginning of September. So she leave to go out of town, and I'm there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I got the whole entire place to myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm just it's just me and the dog, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this feels so wonderful. I ain't gotta worry about nobody here, no landlord, nobody chasing me up out the house, down the street to my car, no, none of that. Like, this is good. I could get used to this. I'm chilling on the couch watching TV. Okay, this is nice. Now me and the dog, just chilling watching TV. Okay, bet. Now Friday rolls around. I get ready to go to work, and friend one comes over, and she introduced herself. She cool. I get a good vibe from her. She alright. So she come over and she stays. She spend the night, and I'm at work. I don't have no problems with her. Now Saturday come, and friend two here. So I'm just not getting off work, and she upstairs, and she greet me upstairs. She say, hey, my name is, I don't know, Keisha, and I'm here to help dog sit. I was like, okay, cool. My name Gabby. It's nice to meet you. So I go to my room, and I'm getting ready to go and take my shower. And when I leave out my door to go take my shower, I look over to the left where Alicia's room is, and her door open. And y'all, guess what I seen? I seen a dude in there, and he just in the bed. And I'm like, what is going on here? This ain't what I signed up for. You told me I already didn't want the two females to come over, but you told me it was gonna be two females over that's gonna help dog sit. And now one of the females done brought a dude over, and I'm trying to go take a shower, and he up in the bedroom, big chilling. What is going on? So I'm just thinking to myself, you know what? This is just so disrespectful. Like how you like how it's one point you bring your friends over, and then they bring a dude over. Like what is wrong with y'all? Are you serious right now? Like come on. So at this point, I'm just thinking, you know what? It's time for me to get my own place. Alright, y'all stay tuned for part 4. Alright? Now, at this point, I'm feeling disrespected, uncomfortable, and just violated. So, what I do is I go back to my room and I get back on Airbnb and Furnish Finders, and I start looking for a place on my own. And I don't care how much it costs. I'm getting up out of here. So after doing my search, I find this one house I like, and it's a little bit more expensive, which is okay. So I reach out to the landlord and I ask her, hey, is your house still available? And she says yes. We have a conversation about the house and how far away it is from the hospital and the payment. So she sends over the lease and I read over it. Now, by this time, Alicia's back in town. So it's the 10th. Now, mind you, I felt so uncomfortable at the house, I ended up leaving. Now, once I pull up to the house, I notice her car ain't outside. So I'm like, okay, cool. You know, maybe she went to work or something. I don't know. I go upstairs and I hear in her room. I knock on her door and the first thing she say to me is, hey, these MFers done told my car. Now I gotta pay for it to get out. And I'm just thinking, well, it's gonna get worse for you. I'm listening to her rant and rave. And when she's done, I say, well, you know, you got it. You got that money. And she says, yeah. I proceed to tell her, hey, I think it's time for me to get my own spot. And y'all, when I tell you, this lady looked like she wanted to just cry. She was like, you getting your own spot? I was like, yeah, it's time. And I tell her, you know, I thank you for, you know, allowing me to stay here. But I'm moving out. I'll have everything cleaned up and moved out by the 16th. And if it's okay with you, I found a new place to stay. Can the money that I was going to give you for this place, can I just give it to the new landlord? So my rent was due on the 17th of each month. It's still the 10th. So technically, I don't have to pay her. Now, keep in mind that 14 days notice policy that doesn't apply to me is still in full effect. She tells me I can just pay the new landlord. So when I get to my room, I'm packing up everything. Now, mind y'all, I done got down to Richmond and I done been traveling, going out of town, shopping. Like, I done bought so much stuff. Like, that's another reason why I needed my own spot, because I was getting worried about all these people coming in and out, and I got all this stuff now. And there wasn't a lock on my door. Like, I could lock it from the inside, but I couldn't lock it from the outside, which had me worried. So I'm using the 10th, 11th, and the 12th to pack up everything in my car and move it to my new house. And on the 12th, I text her. I say, hey, you know what? I can move out on the 13th instead of the 16th. So, and she says, okay, that's fine. So on the 13th, it was time. It was a Friday. So it was time for me to go to work. I pack up everything I came with. Like, I'm telling you, all the condiments, the mustard I done came with, everything in the cabinets. And I noticed that I look at my bread and it's not tied how I normally tie it. Like, I normally twist it and then pull it back. But when I synced it, it was just pulled back. So I'm like, oh, these people done came downstairs and made a sandwich. They done put their nasty hands in my bread. So I'm irritated at this point. Now I gotta throw the bread away. Y'all, I'm telling y'all, I took everything. I took all the condiments. I even took the stale box of Cheerios. I wasn't leaving nothing in that house. Everything I came with, I was leaving with it. And then I get to the laundry room, and they done used my laundry detergent. They done threw the whole bottle away. Now I was running out. I had 2 bottles of laundry detergent. One that was almost empty and another one. They done threw the bottle that's almost empty in the trash. So they downstairs doing laundry on my dime. Now, when I was packing all my stuff up and putting it in my car, she was downstairs in the living room. And I noticed every time I was bringing something out the house, she was getting angry. She was throwing stuff around, yelling at the little chihuahua, telling her to stop barking. And I'm just like, let me hurry up and get up out of here. So after everything is packed up and put in my car, I go in, I ask her, hey, do you want to do a final walkthrough in my room and look at everything? And she says, no, you're a good tenant. I trust you. We don't have to do that. All right, y'all. So once she tell me that, I go upstairs and I take pictures and videos of the bathroom. And then I go to my room and I take a video of how I left it, how everything is back in pristine condition. Like, everything was cleaned out, just in case she tried to sue me or tell me that I had some type of damages and try and play me for the security deposit. So once I move everything in my car, I come back, and now it's time for me to give her key back. But before I give her key, I asked her, so when am I going to get my security deposit back? Y'all stay tuned for part 5. So when I ask for the security deposit back, she tells me I'm going to give it to you on Monday, which is the 16th. So I say, okay, that's cool. I can wait till Monday. No big deal. So I give her a key back, and I say goodbye to the dog for the last time. Now, Monday rolls around, and I don't get a cash app for my security deposit for the $300. And I don't get no phone call, no email, no text, no nothing. I don't hear anything from her. So I tell myself, you know what? She did just get a car towed, and she ain't get my $1,000. So maybe she need a little extra time. I can wait. It's only $300. You know, I spend that on a plane ticket. Now, the second week come around, and I don't hear nothing from her. The third week come around, I still don't hear nothing from her. So by now, it's October 4th. So I went and type up a demand letter, and I tell her, hey, you still owe a $300 security deposit, and failure to comply will result in an ethics complaint sent to the Virginia Board of Realtors and legal matters. I'll go to the post office and I mail this off, certified mail, and she has to sign off for. And I also send it to a regular mail, just in case, she say she don't get it, and I'll post the receipt up. Now, I'm at work, and I receive a text from Alicia, and she tells me, hey, I got your demand letter, and since you didn't give me a 14 days notice, and you were still in the house, you owe $466, so I'll just keep your security deposit if that's okay with you. So I text her back, and I say, no, this is not okay with me. First of all, you had multiple men and women that was in the house. It made me feel uncomfortable and violated, which made the living conditions dangerous. And I explained to her, according to the 14 days lease, the notice policy was not applicable to me. And then I also sent her a copy in the email, and I highlighted for her so she can go back and read it. So no, this is not satisfactory. I need my security deposit back. This is the final notice before I take legal action. So she tells me, you didn't pay for the month of September, so you can move forward how you see fit. And in doing so, I'm going to seek additional rent, and I'm also have you pay for my court and lawyer fees if you take me to court. I don't even respond back to her because at this point, I'm not about to argue with stupidity. And I'm also at work. And even though I'm I'm livid, I'm beyond angry, I still have to keep my composure. And I have to remind myself that I have patients to tend to. And it's only $300. I'll deal with this later. Well, now I see, she want to play this game. She want to play me like I'm slow. So I'm just thinking, either she just don't have the money, she broke, she ain't got $300. Or something is really mentally wrong with her. I'm just thinking, who does that? Behind $300, not only did I take care of your dog, I left your house in pristine condition. And you was trifling. And your friends was trifling too. You had these people over the house. I don't know nothing about them. They over there sleeping in your bed, which is nasty. And I also paid the rent early. Because you needed it. Who does that? You think you about to get away with this? You ain't. The following day, I started looking up Virginia lawyers. And I found one that does a consultation with me. So when she does the consultation, I explain to her exactly what happens. I give her a full rundown about how she had multiple men and women in and out of the house. She didn't give me my security deposit back. And I asked her, do you think I'll have a good chance of winning if I take her to court? So she explains to me, yes, you'll have a good chance of winning because she didn't send you an itemized deduction within the 45 days. And she also didn't send you your security deposit within 45 days. And she also looks at our lease agreement. And she says, I see it clearly as day that the 14 days notice does not apply to you. So you'll have a good chance of winning in court. So I'm like, okay, cool. And this is what I expected anyways. I was just getting confirmation. So I go downtown to file the small claims court, which is called the warrant in debt. As I'm going through my paperwork to give the small claims court what they need, I notice on top of the lease that Alicia is under a real estate firm. There's a company logo there. And we'll just call the company, I don't know, Virginia Realtors, Inc. So I asked the clerk, hey, can I sue Alicia and Virginia Realtors, Inc.? And the clerk says, yeah, but you'll have to sue them separately and it'll be a higher fee. So I tell her, I don't care about the fee. And she tells me, well, you'll have to call 1-800 number and you'll have to get the business information. You'll have to get the name and their address. And you'll also have to send 2 separate warrant and debt letters to the business and Alicia. I called a 1-800 number that the clerk gives me, and they give me the name of Alicia's boss, their email address, their physical address, and a phone number. Prior to this, when I went to the court, the only thing that saved me from filing the small claims court right then and there was it would have had to been 30 days out, which would have made it in December 16th. Now, I just signed a new contract, so I wouldn't have had time to come back down here. So, unless I came back down 10 hours. So, I just say, you know what, let me go home and think about this. As I'm driving home, I'm thinking to myself, I ain't about to let her get away with this. If I have to buy a flight and catch it to come down here and take her to court, I will. When I make it back home, I call the Virginia Board of Realtors to file a complaint against Alicia. And when I call, the lady gives me so much information. She's helpful. And she explains to me, you know, if you file a complaint against Alicia and the business, they'll be subjected to a $15,000 fine. They'll have to take realtor courses. And they just might get their license taken away from them. And then she says, I'll have to send you the paperwork via email, and then we'll go ahead and get the complaint process started. She asked me, would you like to file the complaint? And I say, yeah, send all that over to me. Y'all stay tuned for part 6. While I wait for the paperwork to be sent to me for the complaint, I started doing more and more research about Alicia Stiebel's boss. And we'll just call him Brian. And with doing my research, I find Brian's firm on Google. Now, after I find his firm and I look at the building, I also go and look up Alicia Stiebel, and I leave her a review on Google. I leave her a 1-star review, and I put a receipt on here. As I'm writing Alicia's review, I tell myself I'm going to go on his firm and write a review as well. But then I start to think maybe Brian doesn't know the situation that has occurred with me and Alicia. So I pull up his phone number and I decide to give him a phone call. And when I call, Brian answers on the second ring. And I introduce myself and I say, hey, is this Brian? And he replies, yes. I let him know exactly what has occurred with me and Alicia. I let him know about the multiple men and women that have been in and out of the house and the dangerous situation she put me in, which made me feel uncomfortable and violated. I let him know about the complaint I'm about to file with the Virginia Board of Realtors and how he can be charged with a $15,000 fine and how he can get his license taken away from him. And I also let him know that Alicia Steebles owes me $300 security deposit and she has not paid it. And I'm about to take her to court and file a lawsuit. And y'all, when I'm telling this man this, he is completely silent. Like you can hear a rat piss on cotton. He is all ears. So after I tell him this, he says, okay, Ms. Foreman, let me pull up your lease. When he pulls up my lease, he sees the 14 days notice policy that I mentioned to him. And he's reading this policy over and over and over again, trying to find a flaw in it. So finally I say, Brian, look, I've already talked to an attorney about this. I just want my $300 back. I'm about to file a lawsuit. The 14 days notice is non-applicable. And then I tell him, I don't know if Alicia needs to be on some type of payment plan, $50 a week, or what's going on with her, but I need my money. And I was just reaching out to you to let you know about what's going to happen if I don't get my cash app of $300. So he tells me, okay, I got your side of the story. Let me call Alicia and see exactly what's going on. I'm going to call you right back. And I kid y'all not, this man calls me back in 7 minutes and says, Miss Foreman, right is right and wrong is wrong. Alicia will have your security deposit sent via Cash App tomorrow by the end of the business day. My whole thing is, I shouldn't have had to go through all this. You know, I was a good tenant to Alicia. I paid the rent early. I took care of her dog. And I left the house in pristine condition. You know. And really, it ain't even about the $300. That's nothing. It's more about the principle. You know, some stuff you just don't do. You know, you got to have morals and principles. If somebody's good to you and your dog and they left your house in good standing, don't do what Alicia did. Now, what if I didn't have a mindset to consult with a lawyer and explain the situation to her and do my research about the whole thing? I would have been out of $300 and Alicia would have gotten away with this. And it's no telling how many tenants she done did this to. At the end of the day, it's about principle. You know, be a decent human being. Now, you a story time on my TikTok. And it's no telling how many of y'all out there know who I'm talking about. But I hope y'all enjoyed this story time. I'll see y'all in the next one. Thank you for watching.